All right, I'm sure you guys are confused. What's going on? Why are we here? Why are we in this ugly apartment place? Hopefully the audio sounds good. Yeah, I'm doing dishes. I kid you not, I've been working, like the other day I worked 16 hours of video editing. I got a big client, business is exploding. I'm gonna do probably a record month. I'm gonna do 8 grand in November, possibly 9 grand in December. So it's been busy. And also I've got a trip coming up, so I'm taking like a week off on this trip, and normally I work 6 days a week, so doing a few videos every single day. So to cover for that time off, I have a lot of work I have to do so my clients have videos. So it has been fucking overwhelming. I'm burnt out as shit. I haven't taken a leisurely ride for pleasure in almost a month. It has been super tiring, super overwhelming. I'm burnt out. I'm not existing. All I do is work. I'm sick right now, so you might hear it in my voice. But hey, you know, before I was complaining about not getting enough work and money, now I'm overwhelmed with it. So I'm not gonna complain, it's temporary, and I'm gonna get some extra G's, and I sure need them. I'm buying some new wheels from this Japanese brand called BMX. So that's gonna be like 2 grand and blah, 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 and all this other stuff. So, you know, bills, life, the IRS trying to fuck me up the ass. Kiwi has been pulling all my weight, doing all the chores and all the cooking and everything. Today's a little lighter on the workload, so I'm taking this moment to do dishes for her and record a video while I'm at it, because I can't really get out and ride. I've been too busy and it's cold as balls out. But yes, what a crazy time, gentlemen. No really particular theme to this video, just a random guy on the internet wearing a motorcycle helmet in his kitchen bullshitting. I kind of want to talk about work-life balance on the topic of being overwhelmed and overworked. People always tell me, when I was first trying to be successful and first started chasing the bag when I was a young teenager at the lending company I used to work at, they'd always say, oh, you're young, you have time, you have time. I never got that, bro. You have time. No, we don't have time. Life is crazy short, and easy for, a boomer to say, when back then, a firefighter could have a house, a stay-at-home wife, and support children and have 2 vacations a year. Nowadays, 2 people earning full-time income in the city can barely scrape by, much less have a retirement. Social Security isn't going to be around for our generation. Retirement has a distant fantasy. So no, I don't have all the time in the world, bro. I'm going to work myself to death. I want to have kids. I want to have a house. Those things are expensive. So yeah, I have to work for it. And it doesn't mean I'm going to work myself till I drop dead, but I'm young, I'm driven, I'm ambitious. Now is the time. Why would I take it easy? I've never really understood that advice. People tell me that I tend to go big or go home, like my first relationship. I intend on proposing to her shortly. And it was, oh, she's your first take it easy tip. Well, what am I supposed to do? We've been together so long. Am I supposed to just oh, you've never been with anything else? Oh yeah, let me put her on a shelf and then go back into the dating world, that miserable place full of retarded idiots. Fuck around, be a retard, and then say, okay, now I'm ready to be for real. No, dude, I'm not here to waste time. I know what I want. And I really am not interested in taking advice from the general populace. Not to be rude, but most people just don't know what they're doing. Most people hate their jobs. Most people hate their spouses. They hate their wife. Most marriages fail. Most people never live out their dreams. Most people never get anything they want. So why would I listen to general advice? Because generally, everyone is sucking. So clearly, you're doing something wrong. So tradition, or the way people normally date or marry, or this or that, I'm not doing that. I'm playing this game to win, buddy. I get one life. I'm not fucking this up. And I don't want a half-mile rap sheet of regrets and failures and things I ruined. I'd rather be present and experience the pain of discipline and work and struggle than the pain of regret and mediocrity. I'm finally kind of excited. It's felt like I'm floating for a little bit, but my current plan, I'm overwhelmed with work video editing. So the whole production thing and the course and everything I was working on has just come to a flat line because I can barely maintain it. So I have one small client who's paying me $1,200 a month, but he's a bit of a pain in the ass. So I might boot him. I'll still be doing probably about 7 grand a month with him gone. But I have a little bit of time to put into the course, into other things, and pretty much stack money, get my bike fixed up. Before we leave Vegas, there's a lot of stuff I have not explored here on the West Coast. I would like to do a big, cool ride with Kiwi to California. She actually just lost her job. They fired her pretty unjustly, in my opinion. So she has another one. Unfortunately, doesn't pay quite as well. So she went from having a lot of time to having no time, because she's getting as much hours as she can to make up for the missed income of about a month. That's another thing. I don't get it. Every employer I know complains about not finding good employees, can never find good employees. And every employee I know complains about not being able to find a fucking job. Now, perhaps it's just because people don't want to work for fucking pennies, so they'd rather remain unemployed or do gig work or freelancing like I do. But I find it confusing. Kira is employable. She has a degree in cosmetology. It was incredibly difficult for us to find a job. In fact, we only found this job due to a personal connection. We went to job fairs. I helped her put together a killer resume and started sending that everywhere. And it is quite the struggle to find work in this city. But then, you know, I know cafe owners and such and restaurant owners and businessmen, and they complain about not finding good employees. So it's a little confusing. I also think it's BS. Like, Kiwi has a degree in cosmetology. It took her years and thousands of dollars from her family, you know, to be educated to get this degree. And the only thing she's able to get with it is to like work at Great Clips or Sport Clips or Super Cuts, which is like $14 to $15.50 an hour. And you know, there are tips, but they tax the tips. And in my opinion, pay for a job like that you are legally required to have a degree and a license for with like that low pay is kind of crazy to me. Low-end restaurant workers bringing the same type of money. That is a little shocking. I'm currently training her to do what I do, the freelance video editing. I'm doing so well, I'm so overwhelmed. So when I have a client come in that I don't want, I can pass it off to Kiwi. She does not really have computer skills. She's not tech savvy. So it's going to take her a pretty long time to be trained up. Right now it's been hard because I have no spare time, but I will probably be having her edit these Biker Philosopher videos because they're not client videos. They're not super important. You know, I don't make money off of them. I mean, technically sometimes I make like 30 cents or maybe $1 at most, but I get pretty low views. But she'll be doing these videos for practice, feedback, and then that labor will be going somewhere. It just won't be practice footage that never gets uploaded anywhere, which will take time off my hands because now I don't really have to worry about editing the videos for this channel. Dude, even these poorly, minimally edited videos that I've been struggling so hard just to keep up with once a week, I'm inconsistent on even that. I just have so many distractions, dude. I've got on my own personal brand under my actual name and this course I'm working on and then clients channel. So I edit for all these other YouTubers. So like, how the hell am I supposed to make my own content when I'm so overwhelmed with other people's content and then stuff for the video editing brand? It is exhausting. So BP I treat more as like just a journal, something I do for fun. It is nice, obviously it is encouraging or motivating when I get a bunch of views. And I'd love to make a bunch of money off this channel, but I just don't see that likely happening. So I'm keeping it low key and not working myself to death. Now I would love to be able to do like super high-end creative, really nice editing, but I just do not have the time. I have to chase the bag. It sucks. I've had many YouTube channels that I feel could have gone somewhere, but I never have the time. Like there was this gaming channel I started and I got it to like 1,600 subscribers in a month and people loved it. I went really ham with the editing. I got so many compliments. Dude, this editing, it's just crazy. Wow, you're so good. I can't believe this guy isn't at 1 million subs. I got so many compliments and it was great. And I had fun with them, but I just couldn't keep it going. I have so much work. It's so creatively draining and exhausting. Realize what most editors do in a month, I do in less than a week. What most editors do in a week, I do in a day. Like, I edit so many fucking videos. I'm working on between 3 and 5 projects a day. It is absurd. You know, I produce per month probably 80 to 100 full-length videos a month for clients and then fitting my own in there on top of it. It's just kind of exhausting. You know, if you're a mechanic all day, you're working your ass off working on vehicles. The last thing you want to do is come home and work on your beater in your garage, you know? I think that's facts though, because I know so many mechanics with like fucked up cars that they just never get around to fixing. And I get it, you know, if you crack at something all day, you don't want to come home and do it more. But I mean, if I want to get ahead, I kind of have to. I've heard from Hamza, a self-improvement YouTuber, that I'm critical. I disagree with some of what he says, particularly on dating, but I really, really like the guy. And he's been a huge positive influence for young men. He said, I'm paraphrasing, but something like, if you want extreme outputs, it's going to take extreme inputs. So everyone tells me, work-life balance, take it easy, you're young, blah, blah, blah. Like, guess what, motherfucker? Do you know what I want? What I want is like a big ass awesome house with acres of land and motorcycles and cars and kids with a homeschool, very high-end education and retirement and vacations and travel and freedom. That is a tall order. Now everyone else's baseline, I just want maybe a house and an okay life and the ability to retire. That used to be the guarantee. That used to be the plan A. Now even that is kind of like a big dream. That's a big request. Like that goal and my goal are both not very attainable to the average person. So putting in average work, average effort and attention is not going to get me where I want to go. I've never had anything handed to me, unfortunately. You know, I didn't grow up with, I don't have rich parents. I was in a middle-class family and it kind of broke apart due to alcoholism from my father, and I had some other horrific shit that you could write a movie out of this shit. Some of the stuff I've seen. It's really just kind of scary, and it's into really private information of people close to me, which even on an anonymous channel, I don't feel ready to share yet. Maybe that'll change one day, but it is some crazy, like horror movie, supernatural level shit. Most of you guys probably wouldn't believe me if I told it to you, but I've seen a lot, I've done a lot. In my short years, I just turned 21. I have seen a lot, and I pull through. I've seen lots of people pull through hard things. I'm not in the mood to sit around and take it easy, you know. By the way, lately I haven't really been knowing what to talk about. So if you guys have any ideas, feel free to leave a comment if you want to hear my opinion or something. Or maybe I'll do something where like people can submit stories and then I'll read them and commentate on it. That would be pretty interesting. I'd love to get to know you guys better. Although this channel is small, the community has been pretty interesting, like having the same people comment on all the videos and recognizing you guys and all that. It's been fun. BikerPhilosopher is not the biggest channel I've had. I have another channel that I made crappy animations on, and I got it to a little under 8,000 subscribers, and I had some videos get 500,000 views, and you know, I was a little micro celebrity and all of that, but I've never had a community like this. Most of the people who watched me were just children wanting to see like cancerous brain rot content. I made a lot of jokes and a lot of like crude sex jokes and shit like that, but then when I looked at the retention, I realized people were watching this stuff like unironically to get off. Like my videos would not get views unless I put a chick with big tits in the thumbnail or something like that. And being a porn addict, I knew it worked. I know why it works. I understand it. But I also know statistically a lot of those people watching this stuff, being exposed to this stuff, even if it's humor, even if it's just clickbait to get them to click on the video and the video isn't sexual at all, it is normalizing and pushing pornography. I can't be a hypocrite. So I stopped with it. Views plummeted. Everything stops. No more collabs. No more big animators. I make something I pour my heart and soul into, and it takes me 6 months to create this video, and it gets like no views. And then I make some shit post with, you know, some chick's thighs or ass, and it gets 500,000 views. It's very disheartening, and all the other animators I used to talk and hang out with, they all just basically started making softcore porn. I didn't want any part of that. I didn't associate with it. I also was the only person in those like animator YouTuber circles not pushing like gross bullshit, not just the sexual stuff, how much is normalized and pushed to kids, but a lot of the alphabet mob nonsense and sexuality and gender bullshit. They push it on kids a lot, and just, you know, kind of just Twitter lefty shit, you know, bitching about Donald Trump and constantly retweeting fake bullcrap to try and validate your stupid political opinions. And I was the only one who didn't partake in that. So whenever there was some trend about trans genocide, they're going to wipe out the trans people, and everyone was on top of it, everyone had their pronouns in the bio, I was the only animator who didn't do that. So slowly but surely, you know, people stopped talking to me and hanging out with me because they kind of got the idea that I wasn't down with any of that. But whatever, I would rather be alone in myself than accepted but conforming. And also a lot of these animators I met, there are some cool animators, but most of them just individually as people, they might have successful channels or whatever, but they're just weak people. And I don't mean that like passive aggressively or rudely, but they can't handle anything. They're physically weak, they're mentally weak, they break down and cry over the smallest things. You know, everyday struggles are just bad for their mental health and they needed to take a break and blah, 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 blah. But not only struggle with mental health constantly, but feel the need to post about it to social media all the time. It's just, why would I want to be accepted by people like that? You know, wolves, strong people are pretty rare. So if it's be respected by like a few G's, like a few fucking killers, like really good, strong people, be respected by them, but have the majority of people think like I'm some asshole who's too hard or is radical or whatever. I would rather that than have real, strong, accomplished people that I respect look down on me, and then, you know, pussies think I'm cool. So I am good, brother. All right, I'm gonna get this dishwasher going, and then I'm gonna eat because I'm hungry. Dude, I'm so lucky. Kiwi's actually a pretty solid cook, and she makes like this corn chowder recipe that she got from her mother. It's so good. There's like cream and ham with corn and cheese, and it's like buttery golden goodness. It tastes fantastic. And every now and then she makes it in like huge bulk amounts, so it's just an absolutely delicious meal. So I'll show it to you guys. So I'm gonna have some of that. I've got a lot to look forward to. Unfortunately, there's a lot of personal stuff I want to do, like, you know, the YouTube channel, which I struggle to put any time or effort into. And then I want to ride around and see California. I want to do an epic motorcycle trip, and I'd love to do some trips and see people here on the West Coast that I know before I have to go. Oh, there we go. But with what time, man? I'm working so hard. The move is gonna take a while. There's just so much stuff, but I really do want to see what is here on the West Coast. I think here in Nevada, or at least close by, we have a big plain graveyard. I'd love to ride through and see that. I've never been through Death Valley, a Valley of Fire, a bunch of these big routes. There's hot springs in Utah and so much beauty in California. I want to see that stuff before I go, you know? But instead, I'm just gonna probably spend it all working. But the sooner I can get money and get our first investment property, maybe an old beat up duplex or single family home, and me and Kiwi will put some money into it, get a good deal, like private sale, something like that, or, you know, owner finance and fix it up, maybe live in it for 6 months as we fix it up, put some sweat equity into it. You know, if it's a single family home, maybe split it in two, turn it into a duplex, put 2 tenants in there while staying in my mother's basement in Nebraska to save on rent. Build up some equity, pull out a loan, take a loan out on the house once there's some equity in it, and rinse and repeat. And eventually, by the end of it, have a bunch of properties generating rental income and have a little real estate empire. And then it's going to be difficult, though, pulling that off while working like crazy. So right now, income is going to be probably at $8K a month. Might have 9K a month, but it'll be $8K. Probably step down a little bit to maybe to like 6 or 7. Regardless, that's that's decent. I'm not going to be satiated with that. I need to pretend like this is temporary, because at one point I did hit 8K a month. At one point I did hit 8K a month like a year ago or something. And I started living like I was making 8K a month forever and started eating out and financed a BMW GS and did all this stupid shit. I'm going to blur all this out so you can't see my face. I did all this stupid shit, blew all the money instead of investing it. Then my income dropped. And it was a big kick to the balls and a big lesson. Oh, the lighting in here is shit. Microwave, ooh. Microwave, eat food and not so hot. Probably should also mention, this is my first time, I think, using this fancy little camera on the channel. I've tried recording with it twice before and the audio fucked up because Cardo. Ow, God, that's hot! Because Cardo is weird. Oh, that's hot. It's good. I'm gonna show you guys. This good. You can't see it because camera isn't in focus, but it's good, trust me. Yum. There's nothing like a hot meal. What a luxury. Thank you, Kiwi, I love you.